Tonight, Eagle Point police are investigating what they describe as a large-scale animal neglect case. Officers estimate between 40 and 60 dogs were found inside a home, and a woman was arrested on multiple charges. Thanks for joining us for NewsWatch 12 at 5. I'm Oscar Rodriguez.
And I'm Samantha Cadera. Police Chief Jim Hamilton told me on scene that the conditions were so extreme that there were multiple deceased dogs. I have been following this investigation and have the latest.
This was way worse than what we expected. We anticipated it was going to be bad, but we didn't expect it to be as bad as it is. This is probably one of the worst that I've seen.
Police served a search warrant at the home after what they describe as a nearly 2-year investigation, driven by repeated complaints and growing concerns from neighbors. Eagle Point police told me that it's been a long time coming to execute this warrant.
This has been kind of a culmination of about 2 years investigation. We've been trying to work with the owner for a couple of years now to try to rectify the situation. Ultimately, there was not a change. We weren't seeing anything happen. It was getting worse. By the time that we got to the door, we're estimating anywhere from 40 to 60 animals inside. We're doing the investigation now. Officers are starting to get inside to start checking, and we're finding multiple deceased animals inside as well.
Police say the dogs were kept inside the home and conditions were so severe that officers and veterinarians needed protective equipment just to enter. We spoke with a neighbor who told us she's experienced the situation firsthand.
An odor that is definitely unpleasant. The sound of barking. Sometimes I'm 2 doors down and I can sometimes hear the dogs in my house with the doors closed. It's a tragedy for her, for the dogs, for all around. It's very, very sad.
Despite the emotional toll, police say cases like this are complex, requiring time, resources, and outside help to ensure the animals are cared for properly.
Animal control doesn't have the ability to hold these animals. We're really working with a lot of resources to help us.
Police say the investigation is still ongoing and more charges are expected as evidence is processed. They say their priority right now is stabilizing the surviving animals and making sure this doesn't happen again. Reporting at Eagle Point, I'm Samantha Cadera.
And as our local ski areas have struggled with the weather, they're finally seeing some relief in the forecast. Right now, we're taking a live look out of Mount Ashland, where the ski area is reopening tomorrow with limited terrain. But details on what will be open can be found on ktrv.com. But let's head over to Storm Alert Weather 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman. Matt, when does the next winter storm arrive?
It does arrive tonight. You can see crews already getting ready for that opening tomorrow. This next storm system, we're going to start with snow levels, mainly snow tonight, staying above about 3,500 feet or so, but then snow levels expected to lower even further later in the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. Still fairly quiet in the region right now, mostly cloudy skies. Current temperatures 45 degrees in Grants Pass and Medford, 42 in Klamath Falls. It's 38 degrees in Lakeview and 42 right now in Mount Shasta. Taking a look at road conditions though. Diamond Lake area, we do have some packed snow, slippery travel, no chain requirements in place, but if you have to travel over the passes, road conditions will go downhill tonight, but some even worse conditions expected with the second round of snow on the way for about midday tomorrow, right on into Thursday. So it kind of comes in 2 waves. The first one going to move in tonight. We'll have a little bit of a lull early in the day tomorrow, but then more rain and snow set to impact us Wednesday into Thursday. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories have been issued. The winter storm warnings for the Cascades and Siskiyous. Heavy and blowing snow will make for some very difficult travel. Looks like the worst of the conditions for traveling over the Cascades, especially later tomorrow into tomorrow night. Be sure to carry those chains. As we go later in the day Thursday through the afternoon, snow showers will taper off and we should see some improvements, but likely still going to have at least some slippery conditions through our higher passes even Thursday afternoon. It is going to be turning colder behind this storm system. Tonight, rain, higher elevation snow moves in. It's going to stay as rain in the Rogue Valley. For tomorrow, expect more rounds of rain, higher elevation snow, some blustery winds, and then snow levels lower after dark, likely seeing snow levels getting down to as low as about 1,500 feet or so by late tomorrow night on into Thursday morning. We'll talk more about your Wednesday forecast, how much rain and snow to expect, all coming up in just a bit.
As winter weather picks up, download the Storm Alert Weather app to stay informed any time of the day wherever you are. You can find the most up-to-date details on current conditions and winter weather alerts. It's free to download on both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. And winter weather is pushing Oregon drivers to think ahead before they travel.
And there's one popular tool that drivers are urged to keep in their car this time of year, but having it's only part of the equation. NewsWatch 12's Dale Green has a story.
Winter weather worsens across Oregon. Drivers are reminded to carry tools that help keep them safe on the road. It's prompting even people like me to learn about how to use tire chains. Oregon's chain law requires drivers on state highways during winter conditions to carry or use tire chains or approved traction tires when signs are posted.
If you've got a few inches of snow on the ground, especially if it's icy too, that's what's going to help you bite into the road a lot better, or bite into the snow and ice really.
Learning about the benefits of tire chains is step one, but step two is learning how to properly apply them.
The most important part is probably initially when you take it out of that bag, just make sure you got everything splayed out like you do.
After that, you'll put the chains around the back of the tire with the yellow end facing the side of the tire facing forward. From there,
you're going to want to focus on this rubber part right here.
Okay.
So it's going to go over on the back side of that tire.
Next,
find your red hook right here. Yep.
You'll then connect the red hooks through the closest link possible. And then,
this chain link's going to go underneath this loop right here. So watch your finger. There you go, just pull that tight.
The black chain link attached to the red link is then pulled into the remaining red loop and then attached to the closest gold link possible. After that, you drive up slightly and tighten the chain on your tire.
That's good right there.
Reporting in Medford, I'm Daryl Green.
And the food supply in the Klamath Basin often starts with one farmer and one winter.
And that all depends on the snowpack that's becoming less reliable. As winters get warmer, NewsWatch 12's Danny Stepanovich has more.
Since the 80s, Klamath data shows the Klamath Basin is now 2 to 3 degrees warmer, which may not sound dramatic, but for snow, it's a tipping point. For example, here's a 1 degree difference in Colorado at the Rocky Mountain National Park. This photo from 2004, lots of snow as you can see. 17 years later, significantly less snow. I spoke with a local farmer to see why that matters.
100% of the produce stays here locally.
Every carrot, potato, strawberry he picks and grows stays local. But whether he can keep doing that depends on the winter.
You're adapting to every year. We don't know if we're going to get enough snow, enough rain, if we're going to have a drought. Before, we were used to having a system where every year it was the same exact thing.
As a first-generation farmer, Fernando operates the old-fashioned way. Depending on how much rain he gets, he can afford a new tractor.
Yes, just one tractor away from the dream.
Some years, like the last few, everything comes together.
This year, we were able to make all irrigation demand. It's a great water year, right? That looks like water on our farms and ranches, great production agriculture, growing a lot of high quality food.
But now, scientists say winters farmers once relied on are changing.
Even though year-to-year variability, there might be kind of a wet year or whatever, but the trend is for less snow and for it to be less reliable.
Winter snowpack decides everything: how much land is planted, what crops survive, and if he can use all of his land.
It breaks our hearts because you want to use that land.
And it doesn't take much to disrupt that balance.
I mean, it only takes a degree or 2 Fahrenheit or 3 degrees Fahrenheit warmer for it to change that dynamic.
One bad winter can set a farmer back, but 3?
After the 3rd year, if you don't have enough water, you're bankrupt.
If you have 2 or 3 years in a row that are dry and less than normal, he loses out on those years without a tractor.
But it's not just about farmers.
If you have no farmers, who's going to feed us?
In Merrill, Danny Stepanovich.
Today, Republican Representative Doug LaMalfa, a 7-term U.S. representative from California, has died at the age of 65. LaMalfa was a former state lawmaker and rice farmer, and several Siskiyou agencies posted on social media mourning the death of LaMalfa. The county of Siskiyou posted on Facebook earlier today mourning the loss of LaMalfa, saying he will be remembered for his dedicated service to the North State and his long-standing attention to the needs of rural California, as he consistently focused on issues important to rural communities, forest management, wildfire resilience, and much more, as well as Siskiyou County emergency offices shared their condolences and said his understanding of the region's unique challenges helped elevate rural voices at the federal level. And several local leaders are responding to the news of the death of the congressman, including Cliff Bentz, who posted on social media saying, quote, "Doug was a thoughtful lawmaker who truly understood rural America because he lived it. His work left a lasting impact on the West and on the families who depend on our forests, farms, and ranches." Then NewsWatch 12 reached out to U.S. Senator Ron Wyden on a response, and he shared, quote, "I remember Congressman LaMalfa as a dedicated teammate in the work to support rural communities in Oregon, California, and the West. Through his leadership and in passing secure rural schools legislation that invests in rural schools, roads, law enforcement, and more. My deepest condolences to his family and friends."
And there are just a few hours left for Josephine County voters to submit a ballot in today's recall election. Ballots can be dropped off until 8 p.m. Ahead of tonight's election, Commissioners Chris Barnett and Ron Smith met for a county workshop for the first time this calendar year.
And under Josephine County Code, the board must appoint a commissioner as chair and another as vice chair in the first meeting of the year. And despite the board's vacancy in tonight's recall election, the board is still required to appoint a chair and vice chair. County Code said if two commissioners cannot agree, the commissioner serving the longest shall become chair. As of this afternoon, Chris Barnett is now the board's chair and Ron Smith is the vice chair.
And we're continuing to track the recall election, and we'll have results when they come out at 8 tonight and have those details on NewsWatch 12 at 11.
And we're just a few days into the new year, and if one of your resolutions is to try something new, well, a nonprofit in Talent may have exactly what you're looking for, offering workshops and classes at little to no cost. Talent Maker City will offer more new and free workshops in 2026. The nonprofit says they want to create more opportunities for people to come and participate while building a community together, including offering more workshops for free community crafts night, and always looking for more ways to make classes more accessible to everyone.
Kind of went with our gut, and we're like, we think that this is going to take off and it's something that the community needs, but we weren't quite sure. But we realized that we were spot on with that.
And starting this month, Talent Maker City will offer some new workshops to the public, like Brick Makers, where people can play with Legos. And for more information on what type of workshops the nonprofit is offering, head over to our website.